Hello students, hope you all are doing great. I am Achal Chaudhary, working as an assistant professor, BBA department in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. So students, I am back with my online lecture series of income tax. So students, it's your lecture number 7 from unit 2. In previous lectures, we have covered income from salaries, income from house properties, both of their like theoretical perspective as well as their numerical portion. So we have covered all of those, and also we have started the profit or gains from income, or you can say business or profession. So in previous lecture we have started this new topic, and we will be covering same topic in today's lecture also. So let's get started. So here is a list of other income which is classified as your profits and gains of business. So whenever you find any kind of income which is mentioned in the question, so you will treat it as your profit and gains of business, like your recovery against any loss, expenditure or trading liability earlier allowed as a deduction, which was earlier allowed as a deduction but it is not actually deductible. Balancing charge in case of electricity companies, sale of capital asset used for scientific research. We are talking about the scientific research related asset. Recovery against bad debts, amount withdrawn from a special reserve, receipt of discontinued business under cash system of accounting. So these are the other incomes which will be taxable under your profit and gains of business or profession. Expenses allowed as deduction against profits and gains of business or profession, which is covered between the section 30 and 37. Rent, rates, taxes, repairs and insurance for building, if it is paid by the SSC in previous year, so it will be allowed as a deduction. Repairs and insurance of machinery, plant and furniture, depreciation on any asset, if it is paid by the SSA in your previous year. Tea, coffee, rubber development account. So whenever a profit is gained from the any of these business like tea, coffee, rubber, so a certain amount of deduction will be allowed under your profit and gains of business or profession. Expenditure for obtaining right to use a spectrum for telecommunication services, any payment to associations and institutions for carrying out rural development program. So these are the deductions which are allowed under your profit and gains of business and profession. Next is your amortization of expenditure in case of amalgamation or demerger. Any insurance paid premium which is paid by the SSC, discount on issue of zero coupon bonds, employer contribution to recognized PF and approved superannuation fund, employer's contribution to National Pension Fund scheme that is paid by the employer, but a particular amount of that contribution is deducted from the you can say salary, from the particular monthly salary of that SSC. So then in that case it will be deducted, it will be allowed as your deductions. Any contribution towards a approved gratuity fund or employees contribution to staff welfare scheme. So these are the various deductions which are allowed under your profit and gains of business and profession. So students, you have to study these deductions and you have to remember these deductions. So whenever you are going to solve the question in your exam, so these deduction will help you to solve that numerical. Students, there are basically certain depreciation percentage which is given under your business and profession. So you have to calculate the you can say depreciation allowance, and you have to calculate the depreciation many times in examination whenever it is asked. So you should be aware about the like particular percentages, but what percentage are going to be levied on a particular asset. So you have to go through all these percentages which are covered under your, you can say, rule number 5. So you have to go through these percentages and you have to remember these percentages. So if you want to write it down, you can write it down. Otherwise, I will also share the PDF notes of these particular video lectures. So like if we talk about the buildings, like buildings which are used mainly for residential purpose, but except hotels or boarding houses, then 5% depreciation. Building which are not used mainly for you can say residential purpose, in that case it is 10%. So likewise these are the different percentages which are divided on the different assets. Like for furniture and fittings, it's 10%, where fittings include your electrical wiring, switches, sockets, etc. If we talk about the plant and machinery, there are certain percentages that depends you can say situation to situation. Like molds used in rubber and plastic good factories, that is 30% depreciation will be levied on that. Motor cars other than those used in business of running them, then in that case is 15%, but it is used on or after 1st April 1990. So aeroplanes, aero engines, these will have a 40% of depreciation. Life-saving medical equipment 40%, plant and machinery used in semiconductor industry 30%, oil wells 15%, renewable energy service devices 40%. So likewise there are different slab rates for the you can say depreciation on the assets. For computers, including computer software, it is 40%. For books, it is 40% because books are also a part of assets. So that's why it is also going to be depreciated with a particular amount of percentage. Any plant and machinery at a general rate, it is 15%. Any ships, which is like ocean going ships or vessel ordinarily operating, speedboats, all are depreciated at a 20%. If it is a case of intangible assets, if it is mentioned that a particular intangible asset, so on that particular intangible assets it's 25%. Like intangible assets includes your know-how, patents, copyright, trademarks, license, so these all are your intangible assets. So these were the all percentages regarding the depreciation amount. So after calculating the depreciation on all the assets, then after that in question you have to find out the additional depreciation. So whatever the amount you have calculated for depreciation, after that you have to calculate, you have to add on the additional depreciation in that amount. So your additional depreciation on plant or machinery which is acquired by an industrial undertaking after you can say it is acquired or installation after the 31st March 2005 is done, then in that case 20% of the actual amount of such machinery or plant will be your additional depreciation. So the percentage of additional depreciation is 20%, and if if that particular asset is acquired or installed after 31st March 2005. So if it is then only you will add on the additional depreciation. And if that particular asset is used for you can say less than 180 days, if it is not used for whole year, or maybe it is you can say hired or installed after a particular months or after particular days, so in that case we will calculate the first of all we will calculate the number of days on which that assets has been used for. Then if it is less than 180 days, then in that case we will calculate the 50% of additional depreciation. Means if it is 20%, then we will calculate it on the basis of 10% only. We will calculate the 50% of depreciation amount. So for your better understanding, let's solve a numerical first. Mr. X, a proprietor engaged in manufacturing business, furnishes the following particulars. First, opening WDV of plant and machinery as on 1st April 2019 is 30 lakh. New plant and machinery purchased and put to use on 8th of June 2019, that is rupees 20 lakh. New plant and machinery acquired and put to use on 15th of December 2009, that is rupees 8 lakh. Computer acquired or installed in the office premises on 2nd of January 2020, the rupees is 3 lakh. So you have to compute the amount of depreciation and additional depreciation as per the Income Tax Act 1961 for the assessment year 2020 and 21. Assume that all the assets were purchased by way of account pay check. So students, for solving this question, first of all, what we have to do is we have to find out the rate of interest on which that particular asset is going to be depreciated. So for plant and machinery, if we talk about the general plant and machinery, the rate of interest is 15%, and for computers it is 40%. Then next thing what we have to do is we have to find out the number of days for that particular asset which was used for particularly, or you can say for installment of that particular asset in the business. So in first case, if we talk about the first starting two things, you can say opening balance and your new plant and machinery of rupees 20 lakh, both of those has been used or installed for more than 180 days. So in that case, you will calculate the 50% of depreciation on whole amount. That is your opening WDP method of, you can say opening WDP of 30 lakh, and your new plant and machinery which was purchased and put to use on 8th of June. So if we calculate the number of days, it's more than the 180 days. So 30 lakh plus 20 lakh will be depreciated at the rate of 15%. So the amount of depreciation will be 7 lakh 50,000. If we talk about the third particulars, that is new plant and machinery acquired and put to use on 15th of December 2019. So it's clear that this particular new plant and machinery has not been completed 180 days. So basically it's used for less than 180 days. So 50% of depreciation will be calculated on this. So if we talk about the 50% of 15%, so the amount of depreciation will be 7.5%. So if we calculate the 7.5% on 8 lakh, the amount of depreciation will be 60,000. Next, if we talk about the computers, the fourth adjustment, computers acquired and installed in the office premises on 2nd January 2020. So 2nd January to 31st March, the completion of 180 days is not completed. So again, it will be calculated on 50% amount. So 50% of 40% will be 20%. So your amount of depreciation will be 60,000 here. Then we have to levy the additional depreciation on plant and machinery. So one more thing students, we only levy the additional depreciation on plant and machinery. We will not levy that additional depreciation on computers. So again we will follow the same rule, 20% on 20 lakh. So here you will say that ma'am, why we haven't like calculated the additional depreciation on, you can say opening balance, because the additional depreciation has been already you can say calculated in your previous year whenever it was purchased. So at the time of purchase, or you can say new installment, new plant and machinery installment, so in that case only we count the additional depreciation. So new plant and machinery which was used and which was installed for more than 180 days. So 20% of that 20 lakh will be calculated as your additional depreciation. So the amount will be 4 lakh. Again, if we talk about the new plant and machinery which was purchased after the you can say which is not used for 180 days, as it is mentioned in the question that it is purchased on 15th of December. So if we calculate the number of days, it is not qualifying that particular adjustment, that it is not used for more than 180 days. So 20% or 50% we will calculate as your additional depreciation. So if we calculate the 10% on 8 lakh, the amount will be 80,000. So total depreciation on plant and machinery will be your 12 lakh 90,000, and on computers it is 60,000 only. So students, this is how you have to calculate the amount of depreciation including your additional depreciation on the particular assets. Next is taxability in case of composite income. So whenever there is a composite income, so you have to first of all find out the amount of percentage amount of profit which will be your calculate which will be included as your business income. So first is your income from the manufacture of rubber. So whenever it is mentioned in the question, so you will calculate the 35% of that income, and that will be computed as your business income. So that will be taxable under the head of profits or gains from business and profession. And 65% amount will be considered as your agriculture income, and that will be exempted from tax. Income from the manufacture of coffee, sale of coffee grown or cured, sale of coffee grown, cured, roasted and grounded. In that case, in first case when your sale of coffee grown and cured, in that case 25% will be taxable under the business income and 75% will be exempted. When it's a case of sale of grown coffee, cured, roasted and grounded, then in that case 40% of amount will be considered as your business income and it will be taxable, and 60% will be exempted from tax. Income from the manufacture of tea. So in this case 40% amount will be taxable under your business income and 60% will be exempted under your agricultural income. So this is how you have to find out the value of tax under composite incomes. So let us solve a numerical related to it to understand the composite incomes, how to calculate the tax liability on those composite incomes. Miss Vivitha, a resident and ordinarily resident in India, has derived the following income from various operations relating to plantations and estates owned by her during the year ended 31st March 2020. Income from sale of centrifuged latex processed from rubber plants grown in Darjeeling, rupees 3 lakh. Income from sale of coffee grown and cured in the Yercaud, Tamil Nadu, 1 lakh. Income from sale of coffee grown, cured, roasted and grounded in Colombo. Sale consideration was received at Chennai, 2,50,000. Income from sale of tea grown and manufactured in Shimla, rupees 4 lakh. Income from sapling and seedling grown in a nursery at Cochin. Basic operations were not carried out by her on land, rupees 80,000. You are required to composite the business income and agricultural income of Ms. Vivitha from the assessment year 2020 and 21. So students, this is how you have to calculate the you can say business income and agricultural income from the particular you can say composite incomes. So computation of business income and agricultural income of Ms. Vivitha for the assessment year 2020 and 21. So first of all, first transaction which was given there, that was sale of centrifuge latex from rubber plants grown in India. So in that case, rupees 3 lakh So you have to calculate the 35% as your business income. As mentioned that if a particular sale is done from the earned from the rubber plants which is grown in India, so 35% will be considered as your business income. So here out of 3 lakh, 1 lakh 5,000 will be your business income and remaining 1 lakh 95,000 will be your agricultural income. Next was sale of coffee grown and cured in India. So rupees 1 lakh was the gross amount. So as the case has been specified that coffee grown and cured in India, so in that case 25% of amount will be considered as your business income. So 25,000 will be your business income and remaining 75% will be your agricultural income, which is your 75,000. Third was sale of coffee grown, cured, roasted and grounded outside India. So if it is not considered, you can say if it is not related to the India, so in that case no amount will be considered as your agricultural income. So all the amount will be considered as your business income as the person as the you can say Miss Vivita is your no you can say ordinary resident of India. So in that case 100% of that amount which is received outside India, which is you can say which is received outside India, that is Colombo, which is in your Sri Lanka. So that 100% of that sale will be considered as your business income. So here 2,50,000, the whole amount will be your business income. Next is sale of tea grown and manufactured in India. So the percentage is specified that 40% will be your business income. So 40% of 4 lakh is 1 lakh 60,000 which is your business income and remaining 2 lakh 40,000 will be your agricultural income. Next is your saplings and seedlings grown in nursery in India. So the whole amount will be considered as your you can say agricultural income because it is deemed to be your agricultural income whether or not the basic operation were carried out on a particular land or by the SSC or not. So this amount of you can say this particular source of income will be considered as your agricultural income. So out of these 80,000 no amount will be considered as your business income. So 80,000 will be calculated and exempted under your agricultural income. So here your business total business income which will be taxable under your profit and gains of business income, that is rupees 5,40,000, in remaining 5,90,000 will be considered as your agricultural income and this is also exempted from tax. So students, this is how you have to calculate your business income and agricultural income whenever particular amount of sale and sources of sale is given in the questions. So students, that's it for today's lecture. Here your profit or gains from business and profession has been completed. Based on today's lecture, here are some questions which has been asked in your university exams and which are important according to the examination point of view. So question number 1. What do you understand by additional tax? Question number 2. Write down the deductions which are allowed under profit and gains of business or profession. Thank you so much for your time. Stay tuned for more videos.